Good morning, everybody. This is the DukeHub Schedule Visualizer team, and we're part of this year's Code Plus 2022 program, and we're here today to present you our finalized project of both the DukeHub Schedule Builder and the Schedule Visualizer. Now we will present our team.
Hey, I'm Adam.
Hi, I'm May, and that's May.
Hi, I'm Ann.
Hello, I'm Brandon.
Hi, and I'm Sebastian, and our two leads are Malik and Aaron, who work for the OIT and SISS department, respectively.
First, we wanted to provide an overview of what we'll be discussing in our presentation. We'll run through the problem we're trying to fix, our initial ideas and discoveries, our methods of implementation, our outcomes, and finally, we will show a demo of our finalized project.
Okay, so as you can see, the two images on the screen are the current DukeHub Builder and Visualizer that are in DukeHub currently. And some of the issues that students may have found with the current model is that there is a little bit of a time-consuming switch between changing your schedule in the builder and then actually visualizing it on the calendar in the visualizer because it's two separate pages. So if you're making a lot of changes in your schedule, you may have to click back and forth, and that may be time-consuming to some students. And there is also no way for students to see kind of visualized data about their classes. So if they wanted to see all of their classes personalized in a graph or a chart, we wanted them to be able to do so. And so we created a website that implements a centralized interface so that students can go make as many changes as they want to their calendar and visualize it in a calendar on the same page, as well as see personalized data about their personal schedule in graphs and charts.
So throughout this 10 weeks, our methodology could be described into four main parts. We first started off with the idea of an RShiny app used in a statistics class project the past year. Based off of this, we evaluated the features it had, and we reflected upon this initial project that we were presented and decided to research even more. And so we launched a survey to all the Plus programs that were attending both Data Plus, Code Plus, and CS Plus this year. We received more than 50 responses in which we knew what the students wanted as a DukeHub schedule builder and a schedule visualizer. We also realized what features were not as essential for them, and also some things that we might be interested in implementing. We also met with the SISS department, the OIT department, and the Duke student government to evaluate all of our stakeholders' views on our project and how we needed to go through this implementation. And so with all this data that we recollected, we obviously analyzed it, and we started drafting ideas on what we felt were the most feasible and also essential features that we should implement inside the schedule builder and schedule visualizer. Moving on, we started developing our app and divided our team into two smaller teams, one that was focused in the back end and another one that was focused in the front end. And through the summer, we were working together with the shared goal of creating a web app that was functional for any student that wanted to create a schedule. Finally, for this past week and a half, we have been working on the deployment of our website, which is now hosted on OpenShift.
For the technologies we used a JavaScript framework known as React as our front end. We implemented different libraries of React, such as MUI and DHTMLX calendar, to help us create standardized and aesthetic components. We also implemented the context API in React to set user information as global variables so that they can be used throughout the website and they will not have to be passed down the React tree. We used Ruby on Rails framework to create a Rails API that receives calls from our React app and retrieves database information from Postgres. It's kind of the middleman between the React frontend and the Postgres database that we use to pass through our data and store the user data through session store cookies. Ruby on Rails also allowed us to retrieve shibboleth login information through the use of gems. We use PostgreSQL as the background in order to manage our databases, which include data and course and user information. We also used a cloud container known as OpenShift, which Duke uses to deploy its sites, and it redirects traffic to shibboleth, which authenticates user login for Duke students. We also use Docker to containerize the images.
So one of the features that we wanted to implement on our website was accessibility, because we think that that is one of the most important features that we can have in order to allow people to use the website through screen readers. So one of the most important commands that we implemented was like the tab function, which tabs through every focusable element on the website, which includes links, headers, buttons, etc. And so for our website, you can fully tab through the entire website using just the tab key and the enter key to go into a link, which corresponds to the voiceover functions in Mac and Windows. So it's the voiceover function in Mac and the NVDA programs in Windows. And so users will be able to tab through the entire website, and each focusable element will be read for them with a screen reader. And an example of the screen reader pop-up you can see on the screen, which will have labels on them, which we implemented in our code as React ARIA labels.
So here's just a simplified version of our backend and how it's laid out. It's a simplified ERD, which is an entity relationship diagram. Each of the items represent different tables, and the lines between them show the connections between these tables. So as you can see, two of the more centralized tables are the users and courses. Courses is connected to different queries, which retrieve information about different courses and then store them. So that in the future, when people are trying to find different courses and add them through Schedule Builder, it's able to display all that information by pulling from Postgres. And then another big table is the users table. After a user logs in through SHIB, it'll either save their entry as a new entry into the users table, or it'll access their old entry. And what that allows is for us to save data across different sessions. So in the future, if a user ever wants to come back and start working with their old data, they can do that, and they'd be able to access their old book bag courses and things like that. So throughout the 10 weeks, we've come across a few different challenges that we were ultimately able to overcome. One of these was figuring out how to use the context API, because previously we had had so many different variables that we had to pass down through multiple elements in React. But by using context API, we allowed variables to be more global in scope. So we didn't have to clutter our code as much, and it made it a lot easier to read and to access variables and very different and far apart components. Another challenge that we faced was laying out our database. So because Postgres is a relational database system, most of them have to be connected, and establishing these connections with primary keys, foreign keys, and things like that were pretty difficult because we're quite data heavy in our project. So getting that set up was a bit of a hassle, but we think we were able to come up with it in a easy to read and well laid out way. Additionally, we had a challenge with getting shibboleth authentication. We wanted to really thank Sherry, Harry, and David for helping us out with that. We were having issues since Duke typically provides a Ruby container for people to use shibboleth, but because we had a Ruby backend and a React front end, we were having trouble getting it into React and getting the two to communicate with each other. But ultimately, because of them, we were able to figure it out. And finally, getting a dynamic calendar where students can, in real time, add and delete courses and have them display on the calendar as they do that was a pretty difficult task, but we ultimately were able to figure out how to do that. So here's a live link to our web app hosted on the cloud. Feel free to go and visit that link if you want to look around. But now we're going to show you guys a demonstration of our web app and some of the features in it.
Hello, my name is Brandon, and I'll be guiding us through the first portion of the DukeHub schedule visualizer web. And so when you try to log into your course or the web app for the first time, one of the things you'll encounter is SHIB. So SHIB allows us to ensure that only current students, faculty, staff, and sponsored guests are able to log in. But on top of that, we're able to use one's NetID to be able to see any courses that one's been able to select beforehand. So before I logged into this earlier and was able to select physics and psychology 101, but say that there's another course I'm looking for. If I don't have anything specific that I'm looking for, say I only want a computer science course, then I could simply search, and then I'll get every single CS class for undergrads in the term 2022 fall. So from here, I'll get basic information about the course, but if there's more information I'd like to see, I could simply press this drop-down button and then get more. So for example, one of the things I know now is that this is one of the quantitative science, which a lot of Trinity students are looking for. I also know the course name and the location of where it's at, along with a button that allows me to be able to see this on the map in case that this is something I'd like to see. So from here, I could press add course, get a notification, and then if I check the book bag, it's there. But say I'm actually looking for something more specific within the computer science field. This is where advanced filters comes into play. So from here, let's say I'm looking for an in-person class that also has the course value of a BAS connection. So using course attribute and course attribute values, pressing search, then I'll simply get Computer Science 110, which is Information, Society, and Culture. It has the BAS Connections course attribute, and I've heard really good things about this professor, so I'm going to decide to add the course. Now I have the 3 courses that I need for me to be able to actually visualize my courses. So now I'll press Create Calendar and start visualizing.
Hello, I'm Maggie. So now we are going to visualize our courses. So the first thing we are going to do is we're going to press on this sidebar here, and we can simply click these check boxes, and these will now appear on the calendar. So let's go to a month view, and we can see all of our courses here. But let's say we actually want to look at it from a week view. And so we'll just click ahead. And now we can see all of our courses here from the book bag. But actually I want to search for another course because I want to take Arabic in the fall. So I'm simply going to go to our simple search here and search for Arabic. And now I'm just going to click checkbox for this course, and we can see that it appears here. But actually on Friday, I also have a basketball game that I want to attend. So I'm just going to click add custom time block. And it's on September 2nd. And it starts at 5 p.m. and ends at 7 p.m. And here I can just simply type in the basketball game and click create time block, and voila, it appears right here. But as you can see, the colors are rather monotonous, so I'm going to change these colors to, say, red. Let's go orange. And green. Let's change this one to blue. And perfect. All of my courses have their own color customization. And let's just say I actually want to take Arabic off of my schedule. I can simply unclick it, and now it's off. We also have a map feature. This is imported from Duke Maps, so simply we can type in where we want to go. So let's say I want to go to Gross Hall. And I can simply click this and click directions and say I'm starting from the Broadhead Center. So we can see that it is a 16-minute walk, 0.74 miles, and here's a path for the path that I can take. This is very useful for students who are trying to find the distance between 2 of their classes. And here we also have a data visualization tool. These are all the courses imported from the book bag, and just gives you a rundown of all the Trinity requirements that are fulfilled. And here is a pie chart of all the TRECs. So for example, we have one course that fulfills the social science requirement. And here is a graph of the enrollment caps. So for example, physics has an enrollment cap of 30. Psychology has an enrollment cap of 378. So we can see that psychology is a considerably larger class. And let's say that we want to log out now. So you simply click this icon and then click log out. And now we're logged out. This is the end of our DukeHub visualizer demo. Thank you for watching.
All right, and now we'd like to open it up to any questions.